And here's someone who I trade with on a regular basis, just to give you an idea. And there you go, 102% ROI, and I can confirm that these... Hey everyone, welcome back to another copy trader tutorial. Today we're going to be showing you our trade simulators. Now these are the most accurate and the most powerful trade simulators anywhere on the Solana network. I've used everything out there, and nothing comes close to what we've created here. What these simulators will do is allow you to know whether or not you can win with a wallet before you try trading with them. In the past, what you would have to do was test these wallets with real money, and oftentimes you would lose. This makes it very hard to go through a lot of wallets to find a true winner. Those days are over. Let me show you how it works. So let's head over to the wallet drops. Let's take a look at some wallets here. Okay, so we've got our wallets. Let's sort them by ROI. Let's take a look at some of these guys. Maybe let's take a look at the trades. I want some guys who are trading a lot. So let's have a look at this guy. 41% win rate, 11% ROI. Very interesting, very common. Now, I can tell you right away, we're not going to be profitable with this guy. So what I would do, just to make sure, let me show you how this works. I pop in his wallet address. I decide whether I want to buy with a fixed amount or a percentage of his trade. Looks like he's buying with about $400, which is a pretty hefty amount. So I find that percentage of trade usually yields better results because it allows for the variable of conviction. So when a trader has more conviction in a trade, they're more likely to put more money into that trade. And when they have less conviction, they're more likely to put less money. This doesn't seem to be the case with this trader, but oftentimes you will find that that is the case. So what you can do is you can start with fixed amount, no problem. Choose your one Solana. At first, I'm not gonna try to get the exact slippage that we can get. I just want to see whether or not we can win with this guy. So 10% is a realistic slippage if you're using turbo fees. We're using Odinbot, so our bot fee is 1%. You can put a little bit of a tip in there, and let's check him for the last 500 transactions. So what this simulator does basically is we are connected to the blockchain. So we have the real data of what price they bought and what price they sold for every buy and every sell. So we have that information, and with that information, along with the information that is relative to the bot that you are using, we can choose a slippage which will calculate that anytime they buy, that we buy at 10% of a higher price than they do if we have a 10% slippage. And when they sell, we sell at a 10% lower price than they do. In those regards, the simulator is 100% accurate. It's been tested thousands of times. So basically, every time you buy or sell, you will have your fees that come out of the total profit. The bot fees will come out of a percentage of your buy size, same as the tip, and you can check in any amount of transactions. You can have a sell tip, you can go godly, whatever you want. It's all going to be hyper realistic to your real life settings that you use in your bot. So let's just see what this delivers. Just like I thought, minus 20% ROI if we traded with this guy. I figured that, but saves us some time. Here you'll see it says smart transaction processing. So that just means that it requested 500 transactions, but there were only 101 transactions. So you see there's not that many. So it's just showing 101 transactions. And you can see that anytime he buys and anytime he sells, we buy and we sell based on how much he sells. If he sells 50%, we sell 50%. If he sells 100%, we sell 100%. And here's a wallet address I just found, which is a little more interesting. Now here's a guy who has an 84% win rate and a 17% ROI. He has a really nice looking page. A lot of green, not so much red, but he's a very, very tight scalper. And you would think that you could just come in and trade with this guy and start making money. And that's the problem that a lot of people run into. They will trade a guy like this, they won't get very good slippage, and even though he's making $3,000 a week right now, they'll lose money and they'll ask me what is going on. So let me show you exactly what is going on. So this 17% ROI is simulated with a 5% slippage. You're never gonna get a 5% slippage. Let me show you exactly how important slippage is. Let's say this guy has a few people copying him, he's buying with large amounts of money, and you're not getting in anything less than a 20% slippage. Let me add in the bot fees, the turbo, and we'll keep it at 100 transactions. Look at that. You went from making 17% profits at a 5% slippage to losing 17% profit at a 20% slippage. So slippage is everything in this game, and this simulator is so good because what you can do is you can take a guy like that, you can trade with him for a few trades, you can take a look at the charts, and you can figure out what is the price differential that I'm getting when trading with this guy at fees that I can afford. And if it turns out that you're getting in at around 12% and you're getting out at around 9%, then you can analyze and see that, okay, I could make 2% with this guy, but is it really worth it? Probably not. If you could get in a little bit faster, maybe use some godly transaction fees, then you could make 8% and you'd be making an $800 profit on that. So you can come in here and you can play around with these settings based on the fees, how fast are you gonna get in, based on his buy size, can you actually copy him? Because let's take a look here. Let's take a look. So this guy is a tight scalper. I mean, he buys and he sells real quick. But look at this. Let's say he bought here and your bot gets you in somewhere here. That's a 13% slippage. So you're buying around here. And then he sells here and you don't sell till down here. So you're at about 11% slippage. So he buys here, he sells here, he makes money. You buy here, you sell here, you lose money. That is the trap that people fall into in copy trading. They don't understand, how is my mirror making money and I'm losing all this money? It's because of slippage. Because you'll never get the same price as someone, ever, because they are buying first, and as soon as they buy, the price will pump because of the money they injected into the token. So if I wanted to be hyper realistic, I could trade with this guy. I could see like maybe he gets here and maybe I end up buying here. Maybe the bot is really quick and maybe he sells here and I still probably sell down here. I could come in and say, okay, we got about 8% slippage up. We're getting about 11% slippage down. So if I'm gonna keep trading with this guy and I'm using godly fees so I can get in the same candle super fast, let me check for 500 transactions. Is it actually going to be worth it? Pretty much no. You're spending $1,000 in fees. You would make money without the fees, but with the fees, your profit is minus 362. If you can get in with cheaper fees at the same slippage, you're saving a little bit of money. Honestly, not that much because the turbo is quite fast. But if you were getting in with the lowest fee setting, then you'll start making money. And maybe you want to use DBotX and you're only paying a 1% bot fee, then yeah, you're making 2%, not really worth it. But what about if I trade a percentage of the trade? What if I trade based on his trade size? Maybe that will make a difference. It does. Like I told you, the percentage of trade is usually better because of conviction. So yeah, at this point, if you traded with him over the last 500 transactions and you were averaging a fast slippage because you were using godly fees, then you would have actually made $5,000 with this trader. It'd be tight. So honestly, I wouldn't recommend trading with this guy. You would have invested $91,000 and gotten $96,000 back. Super tight scalper, but this is just a really good illustration of the power of slippage. And you can see with the slippage that on that America coin, he made 12% in profit. On the same coin, you lose 3%. So you really only profit when he's making like 30%, then you're gonna be making 9%, and that's all because of slippage. But if you came in here and there was no slippage, which is impossible, then you would make a bunch of money. And you would pretty much get almost what he got. It's probably about the same because these numbers I find are not always correct. So that's pretty much how it works. Here, this one, you get 30%, 34%. Here it says 37%. So that would be with zero slippage, which is impossible. So the trade simulator, hyper accurate, really useful. Play around with it. Try out different things. Try out different fee levels, different slippage. You can even add in a stop loss, but we don't allow for using a stop loss less than 50% in the trade simulator because we don't know what happens between the buy and the sell. So this is only to protect from traders who let coins go down 80 to 90% because I'm never going to do that, and that's going to affect my results. And if I can cut my losses with a stop loss, a very big stop loss, and prevent those really big drops in capital, then it's going to show me realistic results. But if you really want to figure out what your what a real stop loss would be, then we have the settings analyzer, which will actually tell you, by you analyzing all the trades and putting them in a CSV, what would be the best stop loss and take profit. So using that in combination with the trade simulator is the most powerful combination that you can do. But honestly, the trade simulator is just really fast. So you can have 100 addresses, throw them all in here and find the ones you can be profitable with, and then from there take them into the settings analyzer, and that's how you really start making real money in this game. So we'll go over the settings analyzer in the next tutorial, and we'll have much more in-depth tutorials about how I use this trade simulator to really find guys who can make me money and really hone in and squeeze as much ROI as I can. So that's it for now. These are the best simulators in existence. I don't think anyone else even has a simulator. I know a couple of people I've tried them and they don't work. This one does. We worked on this for months. We iterated this for months. We tested this for months, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's more accurate than Photon. It's more accurate than GMGN.ai. It will even warn you and tell you if a trader is selling more tokens than he bought. So it's not going to give you inaccurate results ever. As long as you are inputting the right settings and realistic slippage, you will get realistic results. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.